ask Meera Kumar, President of Diabos.
Firstly, thanking the Maritime Standard. It feels really nice. Last year was my first time ever at your event. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I didn't expect to be back here in the same panel with many of the same people. So it's been brilliant, made a lot of new friends, met some old ones, and honestly, listened to a lot of really compelling content today. I'm going to try and keep my presentation as short as possible so we can all sort of get out there with the drinks that I think are laid out for us later. I wanted to make a point before I get into what Diabos does, and that is the value of support services. So we all heard during the day about how difficult and challenging times these are, geopolitically, in terms of the commercial ups and downs, and in terms of technology disruption, in terms of ESG mandates. But then, I mean, there is no sailor as old as day who doesn't know that winds and waves aid the able navigator. So I think one of the patterns I've heard through the day is how do we navigate this particular situation? And for that, I think it's very important ship owners and operators acknowledge the value of their support service providers. The main thing we need to understand is while we navigate change, in order to optimize, in order to analyze, we will have to digitalize. Because until we have standardized information, we cannot analyze it and then we cannot optimize it. I've chosen to look at the next couple of slides in terms of the journey of KPIs, and why I call it journey of KPIs is I think we still are largely redefining what KPIs are inside insulated compartments of our own company or our own section of the industry. So look at the number of things that you need to think about in terms of KPIs. I'm not going to go into defining all of them, all of you are from the industry, but all these parameters are important to you as a company and important to the way the world sees you. Again, continuing the KPI journey, you're looking at things like port efficiencies, financial metrics, cargo metrics, compliance regulatory metrics. Again, looking forward, you're looking at customer satisfaction, risk management, environmental impact, and operational resilience. I want you to just think for a moment that in order to derive and to standardize any KPIs in shipping, how important is it that we have the right quantum of data? And that right quantum of data has to come from a cross-section of the industry. It's not enough to do it internally, and it's not okay, as I heard a few people earlier in the day say, we do everything ourselves. We have our own IT company, we have our own, we do the whole thing ourselves. In my opinion, that's not perhaps the smartest of things at this point in time, because we're defining what it means to be standard. We're defining how data should be kept, and for this, we need to be able to share data to understand it, analyze it, and then optimize it. So coming on to who we are, what is Diabos, what do we do, and what do we offer to this space? So we stand for trust, teamwork, and technology. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the J.M. Bakshi Group of Companies, which is based out of India. The J.M. Bakshi Group of Companies boasts of more than 20 companies which cover infrastructure and ports, marine services and agency, and technology verticals. Diabos is one of 3 brands in the technology vertical. This is what we're endeavoring to do. We're endeavoring to create an ecosystem, a digital ecosystem, which will allow all stakeholders to seamlessly, digitally communicate with each other. There are a lot of people who are trying to do the same thing, and that's not a bad thing. What is a bad thing, perhaps, is that we sadly seem to still be not sharing our stories of success and failures within ourselves. And so even in events like this, we have the digitalization and the support services session least attended. So what we need to do is we need to bring more light to this area, and we need to be able to collaborate with others who are doing exactly what we're setting out to do. That's the only hope we have for success. So other than the platform that we have, which sort of connects all stakeholders, what makes Diabos different is we're ready to look at other models because we acknowledge that the industry isn't ready for a one-size-fits-all. So we're ready to look at bespoke end-to-end digitalization projects where people are moving from heritage software, disparate software, and want to actually make that plunge into how do I analyze the old data in non-standard formats, how do I set across, a sort of a iterative process till where I reach my digitalization goals. Some of the things that we have brought in, and I'm only referring to what we worked on in the last 12 months, is terminal and berth level, activity level visibility on costs. Particularly in the tanker segment, maybe the parceling segment, you get into a port and then you have small parcels of cargo, dispatched or loaded across multiple points or areas in the port. The visibility at that granular level on cost is not always there because oftentimes you're working with the same agent and the same vendor, you get a consolidated invoice. You don't always get to cut and dice it and then learn from it. So this is something that we brought in just in the last 12 months. Not easy because even in terms of standardized data on berth and then area within berth, it doesn't exist. Let me go on and I'll be sure to share this presentation with anyone who's interested. The value proposition, and this one really, really quickly, talking about turnaround times in documents, talking about saving manpower where it's not essential for a ship owner operator to vest that manpower, talking about the number of documents that can be stored and retrieved with ease, talking about integration partners among voyage management systems, AIS data providers, compliance providers, fintech service partners, and the various memberships in valuable bodies that govern the shipping industry. This is what it takes for you to vet your support services provider and to ensure that they're committed to the direction that they're in. So this is our new tech stack. We've just launched this product and the product is now live. We're a 15-year-old company. We handle about 40 to 45,000 port calls per annum, but this new tech stack was our investment towards the next 10 years and the digital requirements that we see upcoming. The approach that we have put into this new tech stack and the templatization that we have invested in, which has taken us 3 years, by the way, is what we think is going to help us to customize and to optimize without spending the kind of time that one has traditionally thought was required to do this. So these were some of the milestones since I was last standing here. We launched the application. We have several tanker operators live. We migrated all data for up to 15 years seamlessly on. We have a new version of the mobile app, a new e-procurement module, and a smart agency module, which is up for release before this December. We also are working on several POCs on how to do ESG Scope 3 data point capture, how to bring out analytics as a service of the platform, and anti-corruption data capture at source at ports. So that's it from me. Thank you, Tanker Trades. Thank you very much.